Good morning, you wonderful YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. Right now you find me on the back roads of Fareham heading towards Butsers Hill. Why am I going to Butsers Hill? Not for any specific reason, just purely because it's a nice ride, it's nice weather, a bit windy maybe, and I just need to get some footage for this video. It's Tuesday morning, the day I normally put my videos out. The reason I haven't done much this weekend is I had my two glorious grandsons, or two of my grandsons, for let's say a day and a half, and they kept me very busy, let's say that. But it was joyful, it really was. I love looking after my grandchildren. Make the most of it while I can. Unfortunately we're stuck behind this highway maintenance vehicle, but hey ho, you never know, it might disappear in a minute. So what else have I been up to this week? Bit of research on Grinlay Motorbikes. Oh blimey, that came about as a surprise. Grinlay Motorbikes, which is going to be this week's history. I was going to do a local history, but the place I want to do it on, I am still waiting for permission from the Gosport Railway Society to use the photographs from their website. It's getting to the point now where I'm probably going to use them and say sod it, have what may. But it's quite interesting. Gosport had its own railway, but it doesn't now, and I'll be telling you the reasons why when I eventually get around to it. But the exciting thing for me, very exciting, I'm sure that all of you motorbike enthusiasts, no matter what level of motorbiking you do, have heard of Sammy Miller. I mean, how can you not? For a start, Henry Cole has had him on his program, and the research I'm doing at the moment, he's quite prominent because of his ownership of one of them. So, no, he's not turning off, damn it. But I've kindly been given permission to do a small documentary on the Sammy Miller Museum in the New Forest. So I'm just debating when I'm going to drag my eldest boy in to give me a hand, and hopefully do a bit of filming down there, because it's very possible I'll meet Sammy Miller himself, as well as get into the museum to do a really good thorough look around, and some history on the museum itself. I am so looking forward to that. So that's in the pipeline. I'm not sure when it's going to happen just yet. I need to organise things for when my son's off work and stuff like that, but yeah, really looking forward to that one. So that's about it from me and what I've got to say. I'm going to go quiet now and let you enjoy the history of Grinlay-Peerless. Enjoy.
So as I've already mentioned, this week I've chosen the Grinlay-Peerless motorbike company, which was founded by Alfred Robert Grinlay, who, born in 1876, started work in 1901 working for the Riley Cycle Company with Alan Riley. 9 years later, in 1910, he formed the Coventry Motor and Sundries Company, and then he set up a sidecar company with Thomas Mewson called Mewson and Grinlay. And then in 1923 he set up Grinlay-Peerless in Coventry, and later his son Reginald Robert Grinlay joined the firm. They entered the motorcycle market that year in 1923. The firm was already well known for producing excellent sidecars under the Grinlay name, and unlike many firms that started with the production of lightweight motorbikes, Grinlay-Peerless went in with an awesome and powerful monster of a bike, the sleeve valve bar and shroud V-twin engine of 1000cc that drove a 3-speed Sturmey Archer gearbox with chain final drive. The result was sleek and eye-catching, particularly when it was coupled with one of their own sports sidecars. There is a link for a video in my description. Sammy Miller takes great pride in his bike, and this video demonstrates it being started up. It's an awesome sound. In 1924, the V-twin was joined by a single with a 488cc overhead valve Jap engine, which again was a powerful bike that looked heavy and was far from the lightweight bikes of other companies for this period. The bike in this picture is the 1929 version of the same bike, as I couldn't find a photo of the 1924 version. In 1925, Grinlay-Peerless bought out the 344cc, the 346cc, the 348cc with Jap engines, and 499 sleeve valve models of bar and Stroud engine. In 1926, the 488cc Jap returned, and that year the make made its mark at Brooklands. Bill Lacey, who was famous for his tuning and riding abilities, began to win using the 344cc Jap-powered Grinlay-Peerless. In 1927, the sleeve valve models were dropped to leave the 344cc, 346cc and 488cc Jap engines. In 1928, the 488cc was revised to 490cc, and the range was extended to add models with a 677cc SV, which was a Jap V-twin, and the 172cc Villiers two-stroke engines. Lacey set a 500cc 1-hour record at 103.3 miles, and in 1929 Lacey broke his own record of 103.3 miles to reach 105.25 miles in 1 hour. Following Bill Lacey's record-beating ride in 1929, Grinlay-Peerless created a small number of replica motorcycles for sale to the public, namely the 1929 Grinlay-Peerless Jap 500cc, known as the 100 model or Lacey replica. The 500cc 100 model had Jap Speedway engines and web forks, as opposed to the Lacey's personally tuned twin-port engine and Brompton forks. However, each motorcycle was individually tuned by Lacey's own mechanic, Walt Hartley, or known as Wal Phillips, and sold with a certificate guarantee, and Lacey had personally lapped the machine at Brooklands at 100 miles an hour. By the end of the decade, there were also models in a 490cc overhead valve single, a 674cc overhead valve, and a 750cc SV Jap V-twins. Venturing into the 1930s, yet more models were added, including a 196cc and a 247cc Villiers two-strokes, a 245cc overhead valve Jap, and more versions of the 490cc overhead valve Jap. In 1931, the company dropped the Villiers and Jap V-twin engines, but kept some Jap singles for that year alone before turning to the Rudge Python engine. The Rudge was used in 348cc and 499cc sizes, including the Ulster. Also in this year, Walter Hartley, or Wal Phillips, who went on to become an international motorcycle speedway rider, who rode in the first ever World Championship final in 1936, wins at Brooklands on his Grinlay-Peerless in 1931. But unfortunately, Wal's riding career came to an abrupt end in 1937 when he crashed in Sydney and broke his leg. Interestingly, it was also in 1931 that Bill Lacey once again broke the hour speed, reaching 111.45 miles. Unfortunately, though, this time it was on an Alton. In 1932, the range was cut to 3 models, all fitted with Python engines. Models of various capacity were named, and those were the 250cc Tiger Cub, the 499cc mid-range Tiger, and the 500cc Tiger Chief and Tiger Chief TT. In 1933, more variants were added that year, but the boom days had passed, and in 1934 limited production continued and for that year, after which the company turned their attention to other products, and in 1939 they formed a company called the Coventry Engineering Company. Going back slightly, in 1936, Edmund Joseph Boy Tubb, who rode many a race and held a multitude of medals, won a Brooklands Gold Star Award Class C at 500cc on a Grinlay-Peerless 100 model. In 1939, the outbreak of the Second World War changed the priorities of many bike and car manufacturers. During World War II, another sister company to Grinlay-Peerless under Alfred Robert Grinlay and his sons, named Coventry Engineering Company, founded in 1936, assisted with the production of aircraft guns, pitch propellers, barrage balloons, aircraft fuselages and control gear, and it was this year that saw Grinlay and Peerless part company. I'm afraid that's it for the Grinlay-Peerless history. I can only apologise for the lack of photos, but try as I might, there just wasn't many resources to be had. All the same, I hope you enjoyed it. Now I want to take you up onto Butsers Hill for a view of the South Downs, so bear with me.
Here we are. So we've got the south of the South Downs towards Portsmouth to my right. Massive amount of forest. And right in front of me now we've got North South Downs and East South Downs. It's absolutely beautiful. Up on the hill there, you probably saw it just now, I'm not sure you can see it at the moment, is what I'm sure was firstly erected as an observation tower. It now seems to have been turned into a radio tower, or they've utilised the structure to put relay masts on there. Let's just get through the car park and we'll go up to the top. Now, is it going to open for me? There we go. Excellent. Oops. Unfortunately the cafe's not open today, so only a short stay. As I said, this is just to get me some footage. However, there is a toilet here, which is a godsend. Surely won't mind me parking here for a bit, and we'll go and have a look. Oh, it's very peaceful up here. It's very windy down where I was, where I live in Gosport. But up here it's so peaceful. There we go, you can probably see it right in front of you. Just lifting the camera up a bit. I think I'm very blessed and lucky to have this kind of scenery sprawled out in front of me. Somewhere down there is Meon Springs. Fantastic place to stay, so quiet, idyllic, whichever way you want to pronounce it. So East Meon Church is near where it is. Where's East Meon? There it is. So I'm not sure because I can't see what I'm pointing at here, but it's out there. Basically, East Meon Church, past the white field, or the beige field, a few trees, and there's a church out in the distance. So it's all been ploughed, prepared for the new harvest, which we'll start seeing signs of fairly soon. Well, there's a rubber band here, I'll never know, but there we go. I think someone's probably done that to get these branches out of the way. Oh well, that'll last all of 2 minutes. So, there we have East South Downs. There is also a West South Downs spreading off towards Winchester. And it is beautiful. So over there is North East Hampshire, and probably right in the far distance is probably the boundary of Hampshire, near Alton way, or just above Alton, going up towards Aldershot and Farnborough. That's where we kind of hit the northern boundary of Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Next week will be a surprise as much for me as it will be for you. So until then, stay safe, be safe, and ride safe.